Hello guys, you're welcome to my channel. I'm Egona Pute, and today we're going to be addressing the case of one Mr. Fadula Agbolaje who traveled all the way to Ukraine to study. So one Miss Rufia Agbolaje posted on Instagram informing people about the death of his brother who traveled from Nigeria on Saturday, 8th January 2020, and then he landed in Ukraine on Sunday, 9th January 2022. So he was actually picked up at the airport by a representative of the school. The name of the school is Lviv Polytechnic National University. So he was picked up by this representative. I studied in Ukraine for 6 years, so I have an idea of how this works. Before you can actually get into the country, you need someone whom, especially where you're going to, you actually need somebody to come pick you up at the airport. So without that, you can't actually go in. So in my own case, a representative from the school actually came, picked us up. Immediately we got to the airport. Our passports were taken away from us when we got cleared in by the immigration, which is not supposed to be so. Don't even let anybody take your passport away from you. Okay, so that aside. So now, this boy was picked up by this representative, and then when he got to the room where he was allocated, he met the place in a not so good condition. But for someone like me, when I saw those pictures, I saw it's common. You even have worse rooms. But then, because I already had people who were there, they were able to touch the rooms up, and then it was habitable. But in this situation, I believe that maybe Master or Mr. Fadula Boloje, the victim, the person in the story, had high hopes or maybe high expectations of what he was actually going to expect when he actually got to Ukraine. But it is not what you hear. It's not, Ukraine is not like immediately you even get out from the airport, depending on where you're going to, especially if it's not in the city. It's not what you expect. So that's the situation here. So when Mr. Fadula actually got to his hostel, when he saw his room, he saw the place in a condition that was not too good. Maybe he expected better, so it's not always. So I think he had high hopes. So when he saw everything, he complained, and the mom asked him to request for a change. So he went to the person at the front desk of the hostel to ask, but most of those people, they don't understand your English. So he had to reach out to the liaison officer. I think the person who actually picked them up from the airport. Now, this person actually asked him to come the next day so that they can resolve the issue. So now let me create a better picture of what could actually be going on here, because the liaison officer may even be an agent to this school. He may be someone who is in contract with the school just to be bringing in students, foreign students. In my own case, when I got into Ukraine, it was not until I got into Ukraine I realized that my contract was not directly with the school. I was dealing with a subcontractor who is a contractor with the school, and you're paying your school fees through the subcontractor, and then the contractor will be paying to the school. And you know what that means? It means that your school fees has already been marked up. So they're making a lot of money from you. And whatever they are remitting to the school is definitely not what you paid to them. So is a lot of money. But somehow, my school then, we were able to get justice. We were able to remove ourselves from this contract, and then we started paying directly. We started dealing directly with the school, and because of that, our school fees reduced. And so maybe even this liaison officer is a middleman, probably from one of these Asian countries. So that is what may be in this situation. I'm not so sure, but there is a possibility that the liaison officer is just a contractor that is dealing with the school. So the school doesn't even really know you are even there yet until you are registered with the school. That is when you are a student of that school. And at that time, the hostels that we were staying was being run by the same contractors. They were being run by the contractors. Like, everything about foreign students were, okay, you're dealing with the contractor. Nothing has to do with the school. It's only when you've paid your fees, you're now a student of the school, that is when the school even recognizes you. So now just imagine that this young man left Nigeria on the 8th, Sunday night, and arrived Sunday 9th January, and then he was asked to be seen by this liaison officer the next day, which is on a Monday. That is to tell you that probably he hasn't even done the necessary registration that he was supposed to even do with the school for him to become a bona fide student of that school. The possibility that he hasn't even done that is also there. And come to think of it, the sister wrote that the mom was chatting with the brother up until 11 p.m. Nigerian time on that Sunday that he arrived. Then on the Monday, they did not hear from the brother at all. So remember, the brother was told to come see the liaison officer on the Monday, and it was that same Monday that they couldn't hear from him. So what could have happened to Mr. Fadula? Because that was when all communications were actually lost. What could have happened to him? Is the liaison officer, did they get into an argument that resulted into the death of this boy? Nobody knew. So moving on, this boy wasn't answering any calls. Everybody was panicking, the mom, and trying to reach people. And then it struck the mom that, okay, why don't we call this liaison officer? Why don't we call the same liaison officer? Then they got the number from the invitation letter or admission letter that they probably sent to them, and that was how they were able to reach the man. The man was not even picking their calls. Like, the man wasn't even ready to speak to them. But they finally got hold of him. But however, they said he gave the phone to someone else, who told them that unfortunately this boy was dead, that they found him on the floor of his room. That was what they were told. And I don't believe that any parent would be happy to hear such an information about their child who they just let go from the house. No parents want to hear such an information that a child you just let out, traveled out, just died like that, and no current or like nobody's speaking to them, not even the school, not even the liaison officer. Like, what would you do in that kind of situation? And then they sent them one picture of how the boy was dressed up, as in already gone. What would you do? Please, if you are in Lviv, if you're studying in the medical school in Lviv, or you are in the Polytechnic, if you know what happened to this boy, kindly reach out to the family. This boy does not deserve to die like that, even if he wasn't happy with his room. Nobody deserves to be killed. Nobody deserves to be dead about it. So these were the circumstances. leading up to his death. So is there an investigation going on? Please, we need justice for this family. We need justice for this boy. We need everything to go well. I know Ukraine, because of the language, things may be a bit difficult, but we need to reach out. These parents need to reach out to the right people, need to reach out to the Ukrainian embassy, Nigerian embassy in Ukraine, and write petitions, do a lot of things. I know it's not going to be easy, but this boy deserves justice. These parents deserve justice. Hopefully, more news is going to come out of it. They said they were already doing an autopsy, but who is really doing an autopsy? Who knows what really happened to that boy? We need justice for this boy. Please subscribe, like, share, so that those in Ukraine and those who are living in Lviv can come out with the real truth about what really happened to this young man who just lost his life.